some people have got to run. Will's said he's running down now. So we'll call the meeting to order. Any additions or deletions from the floor? I've got a couple here. There comes Will. Under new business, we're gonna add town staff food bank policy. And an in-camera, legal. Have a motion to approve?
Second.
There you go. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? None. Motion carried. Minutes of November the 7th.
Motion for adjournment.
Motion for adjournment. Minutes of November the 7th, 2022. Everybody's had a chance to pursue those, go through them. Note any errors or omissions? If none, can I have a motion to approve? There you go, Will.
Nope.
Okay.
Is there any movement with the Digby area theater group? As far in the food bank, any movement there? Chicken coops?
Update in camera.
Camera, yeah.
Okay.
And they were gonna, the theater was, last time I spoke to her, was gonna come, but I don't know if you have any updates on that now.
Well, they had told me they were gonna show up, like the very next meeting, and I suggested they give us a few meetings to actually, take the time to go through things before they show
Should I
up.
send Dean the grant for recovery for nonprofit groups, that application? So he was aware of it?
Good. Okay, anything else? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
any further discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? None. Then, well, that was Business Horizon, those two groups. So the CAO report. Lots of days, Tom, lots of meetings.
Yeah. Salary scale review, so I'm currently working on that review for all positions and plan to have a report and any recommendations prepared to table it in December for the whole
Yeah.
meeting for discussions. The Tri-County Regional Planning Initiative, the CAOs of the participating units continue to meet via Zoom to discuss the draft consultant's report and recommendations. Most recently, we discussed the budget analysis, which shows the operation costs are ramped up over 5 years. They have supplied 2 funding models, one based on uniform assessment, which is favorable to me, as it is based on the town's ability to pay. The other funding model is based on each municipality paying an equal base rate, and with the remainder being funded by uniform assessment, which, during the meeting, I could not support without significant amendments, as it is not favorable to the towns. Future discussions are scheduled for, next week, actually, one tomorrow morning, so.
This consultant is probably not aware of how towns and rurals work, or,
Well, this consultant, quite frankly, I'm very disappointed in the consultants that get chosen. Because, and I expressed that to the CAOs at the last meeting. And, because basically, all that they have done at this point is look at the Eastern District Planning Authority or Association, which is in Cape Breton, in, Antigonish area there. And there's a region there, and they've been doing planning regionally for years basically all that they're doing is carbon copying what they're doing. And I said, well, these consultants don't have any imagination at all. I said, we could sit down with CEOs and done what they're doing. And I said, they're not giving us any alternatives, they're just saying, well, you know, there's a model that works, so that's what we're recommending that you follow. Which, you know, is not the model that we should be following, right? Because now they're trying to drag, we started out looking at strictly planning, and, which, you know, we all have our struggles with planning, especially on the staffing side of it. And, now they want to bring, building inspections and that into this, under this regional group. And at this point, that's not what we were looking for. We wanted to get the planning was the issue. And I guess because the Eastern Planning District, had planning or inspection services under their umbrella, and it shows that it helps offset costs by permit fees and all of that, they think that we should do it. So, so some of us CAOs are not totally in favor of, you know, I mean, we need to walk or crawl before we walk and stuff, so, we need to deal with the issue that everybody has a problem with, and that is planning and getting proper staff for doing the plan.
Say, cause building permit fees, if that, the route that you just mentioned went that way, wouldn't they just end up in the pooled resource? We might actually lose some of that fees. Yeah.
I mean, that, like I said, that was one of the things, is, you know, they've included, but they never said, well, who's gonna collect the fees, right? And, you know, the other thing with this group is that, you know, what they're planning, I'm afraid of, you know, they're just building another layer hierarchy. And, you know, so it's gonna be another, meetings that people are gonna have to go to and things, and, you know, I tried to express that, you know, I mean, the planning is an administrative function, and it should be dealt with by the administration or by the CAOs, but, you know, they feel that the way they want to go is better. I just think that, you know, we've got one or two lame ducks now that we've gone, regionally. We may or may not agree, with what I'm gonna say, but Race Tech is one of them. That's my feeling. And, you know, we've got a, you know, we pay a manager, and I'm not sure, you know, and he makes close to, if not equal to, the CAOs in the area, and what does he manage? Right? I mean, he doesn't do their programs. The programs are all managed by the municipal units, our collection programs and everything it's mainly education and stuff, and we don't need that, so I'm just fearful that this planning commission, whatever it gets named or created, is gonna turn out to be something like that, and where the Digby's, I'll say, we've got a gap because Claire's not participating in this at present time, so we do have a gap right? And I just feel that we may get the shaft, because we're way out here, and the other ones are all close together.
Well, we're not committed to it.
No,
We're not committed.
That's thing, and I made that clear to them too.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, CAO from the district of Shelburne he got a little upset and said that he's very worried that this is gonna start fracturing.
Yeah.
And I said, well, the thing is, it's gotta work for all of us.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work for all of us, then, what's the good of being part of something that you're being taken advantage of? Right?
So when it comes close to a model, then bring it back and we'll.
So, the consultants are supposed to be, the next step of the consultants is to have a mayor's and wardens meeting. Consultants are gonna meet with the wardens to sort of try to pitch their ideas. But, we, the CAOs feel that, we're not, unless we get the, financial package down, we're not gonna get any commitment from anybody if you don't know what it's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole point of doing this is make it more efficient and control the cost, but they can't show that yet.
Is there any, failing that, is there any value in pursuing a tri-county?
Well, we are basically the tri-county, what this group is, because we're from Digby to Shelburne.
But they're using different models that don't apply to us.
Yeah, well, that is because they were looking for an example, and one in the Eastern Planning District Association, or, that's not, the last word isn't right, but commission, I guess, yeah, I think that's what it is.
I
And
agree with your thinking though, Tom, and the whole precipice of what this was focused on was getting services to all the counties at a better price.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you need a whole other secretary and manager and building, and who's going where, when, the schedule, and what, you don't need, you're right, you don't need that whole other layer.
Yeah, and I mean, quite frankly, Jeff and I, Sunderland and I have had some discussions because, we're sitting on the outside of the condensed group and,
Any chance that Claire and Digby County and Digby Town could join you?
I think the reason that, I think it was that we're council's choice not to. It wasn't because of, they just felt that, they wanted to stay and deal with planning on their own as opposed to being part of and I guess everybody, now the town of Yarmouth is the same way. Town of Yarmouth has got a planning staff and stuff already in place, so they're not part of this as well. So there's the town of Shelburne, town of Lockport, the district of Shelburne, the district of Barrington, district of Argyle, district of Yarmouth, and the two Digby's that are part of it, right? So, I can see it working, but I have a problem if when it comes to staffing and our people, our residents who want permits and developers that want permits have to go the whole way to Yarmouth to get permits.
Not gonna work.
And I said, basically, we wanted, and that's the council, past councils at least have wanted, good access and be able to get permits in a quite quick turnaround time, right? And that's why basically I do I am the development officer as well, and do all the non-complicated, I'll say, applications. But,
There's a certain flavor with each community. Someone sitting in Yarmouth is not gonna be focused on Digby.
Yeah.
Cause they're gonna be busy enough just for that area.
and the other thing that I don't like, is they got planners. They got, in the first year, they want to hire 4 senior planners. And they don't wanna, and they said development officers can be in year 5. Well, how is planning gonna function without development officers?
Yeah, cause we do a lot through development.
Yeah, the development officer is the one that takes applications for things. The planners are the ones that, helps with with doing our documents and updating our MBS LUD and always, working that way. They're the sort of, the experts to go to when it comes to planning, but, if we gotta go to a senior planner every time somebody wants a development permit to put a doorstep or a deck on their house, I mean, it's just not, feasible in my mind. I mean, council can make up their mind what they want, but what I sort of have read in the councils that I've worked under is that they want people to be serviced, quickly as possible, so that we don't have, people calling 3, 4, 5 weeks or months, waiting for a permit, right? So,
Yeah, and that's one of the discussions that have been going on provincially about speeding it up, cause housing, everything is a real issue, and you gotta speed it up, make it happen, so you gotta ignore it.
Well, as busy as these contractors are, they don't have time to sit away and wait for a permit.
I'll move on to the
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
If you tell somebody they gotta drive to Yarmouth, they won't be very happy. Well, almost like the register of deeds.
Yeah.
Lawyers have, I understand that's going.
Careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do.
The contract.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Keep us up to date.
yeah, and the last thing that I got is about the town subdivision, so I made, process of making arrangements necessary to complete the subdivisions is, sort of doing the pre-work, waiting for, the recommendation of the committee of the whole will be ratified tonight, so.
Yeah. And we'll do that. Big Area Recreation Commission.
The reports in your package?
Yep.
Any questions, I'll try to answer.
Lots of ice gonna be used this year, or do you know yet?
There is, we expect at least equal last year, if not more, because there are more tournaments this year. The Tim Hortons Jamboree, which hasn't been here for 2 years now, that's booked. That's a full day of ice. Yeah, so, and with the high school team going, they're doing very well.
Good. Okay. Committee of the whole report. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motions. Anybody want us to pick one? Pick the one, your flavor for the night? The NPSL, that should come from the chair of the planning committee.
Sure, I'll move that we initiate an MPSLUB review process to update the documents to meet, just what it says in the first line.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we discussed recently, so everybody in favor of that?
Aye.
You need a second.
Seconder, yeah, seconder of that.
I'll second.
You'll second. And these are such exciting things to start.
Number 2, that the boundary review application be made to council / remain the same, that no polling districts and continue to elect at large.
Seconder,
I'll second that.
second that one. Any discussion on it? None? All those in favor say aye. Any nays? None. The Living Park, make a comment on that before. I watched the television show Land and Sea,
Last week.
yeah, last week, and there were some of these around the province.
And-
Differently, and they're located, in regards to your comment, most of what I've seen are located in current existing cemeteries. They set them aside or something.
I'll make a motion that the Living Park location be at McBride's Park.
Second. There you go. Yeah, so it was interesting, it just timed me to watch that show. Yeah, I guess you saw it, Peter, yeah. All those in favor say aye. Any nays? None.
Abstain?
Huh?
Abstain?
Yes, yeah, note that, yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have on the weekend, but I didn't. Number 4.
Well, that's
I'll do
really,
subdivision one lot off of PID 2266765 on Third Avenue and subdivide off of one lot from the land at the Shore Road VIC.
Second, I walked that on the weekend, I was just out hiking, walked down in there, what a beautiful piece of land. Yeah. All those in favor of that, say aye. Aye, any nays? And number 5.
I make a motion that town Digby sell proposed lot number 100 to Grant Creighton for the legal and subdivision costs for this lot of land. See attached.
second.
And any further response on that, Tom?
Yes, well, I'm positive, actually, I've purchase and sale agreement has been drafted by our solicitor, and I reviewed it, and there was an amendment that I wanted, so sent it back, they sent it back amended, and I've signed it, and it has been hand delivered to the Creightons for them to review, and I've suggested, as per the recommendation of our solicitor, to have him review it with his solicitor before signing. And, so everything seems to be moving ahead positively. I just wanna, once he signed that agreement, then have reached out to our surveyor and just made them aware that we're probably gonna be wanting to do that. And do that consolidation subdivision. And so I gave Mr. Creighton two options after discussing with our solicitor, and one was for him to make arrangements to have the work all done and pay for it. And the other one was that we drafted an agreement, and then after with the agreement, signed agreement that the town will proceed and have the work done, and then be reimbursed all the affected costs from Mr. Creighton. And that's what the latter's what he chose. He wanted us to look after all the, getting the surveyors and doing all that work. And I got it in an email that he would look after all costs. And so this agreement is just gonna firm that up at the document. So,
Because it's not dragging in the neighbor, I'm not in the conflict here. If he knows the neighbor, it's not involving him, so.
and I have talked with that neighbor before we started going down this road again, and the neighbor is fine with what's being proposed. So,
Good. All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
And that was the last of that. You'll be able to get to the meeting on time. Digby Fire Department, Digby Fire Committee report. See, you get yourself organized. Folks,
So basically, as per the terms of reference, all the minutes of that committee are supposed to come to to council and be approved by council. That way it keeps council totally in the loop of what's going on. Plus, if there's gonna be any recommendations, you know what the recommendations are gonna be. So, so basically it's here for information, but also to be approved by the council.
I was questioning that the fire hall is funded 50/50 with the district? Are they?
Well, I think that's what,
That's what he said.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
They give
so-
us money, but I don't think it.
Not 50/50. Not 50/50.
Not 50/50.
Fire department. Anyway, but it's good that the conversations are underway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, that's,
Yeah.
he made that comment, and that's why.
Yeah.
He actually wanted somebody from the municipality to sit on that committee. And, that's, at this point,
That's,
two committee members to speak on
yeah,
that, but we didn't think that was the best fit, particularly at this time.
no,
There could be a time that, you know, we might reach out if you get down the road to where, you know, we're gonna actually, especially if we're gonna go down the road towards a new fire hall and a different location than the current fire hall. And if that happens to be outside of the town boundaries, then definitely want input input.
years and years ago, conversations with Vaughn, but fire department, where it was and all that stuff. The philosophy way back when was for quick response downtown, because there was always lots of fires and stuff. But there isn't now, like fire codes, everything's improving and improving and improving. Then when you look at your runs, 70% in the district and 30 in town, that kind of stuff, so. Anyway,
It was no easier getting on top of the hill for the last 2 weeks.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And they're all back in the station, all back home. I peeked in there, it's nice.
So were we looking for direction? Moving forward?
I don't know if there's any specific direction we needed just yet, but I think our next step was the meeting, like over at the actual fire hall. Before we really brought anything back to council. First meeting was essentially reviewing the entirety of the terms of reference. As Tom indicated, they did bring up the idea of having someone from the municipality join the board,
Yeah.
which we floated the idea of having them join as like a non-voting member, just to take information back from the municipality, but at this point, it's a little bit early for that, I believe, and that's what we concluded, because we're not really at anywhere near a decision stage in terms of what,
Oh,
what we're looking at. So, first and foremost, like Councillor Sonia said, we really should, walk us through the fire, tell us, show us what issues exist here that we need to address, as opposed to, new fire hall would be fantastic, and let's build a big $25 million community center. Because, I mean, it's great, but, yeah,
But you have two committees, well, you have one starting in the spring, they confirmed that the other day, and then you have Dignity Hall that's open all year round. So that's, anyway, we won't get into that tonight. I have some opinions on that too, but.
We also made it very clear to Chief Morgan, the deputy chief, that even if one of the members had a good idea, that was the committee to come to.
Oh, yeah.
Discuss it, not to shut down. We wanted to open the lines of communication.
Because a lot of the members have ideas on what they.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're the people who are actually doing the job.
Yeah, good. Correspondence. Oh, you get approved. Yeah, then we go to check. All those in favor of the fire report?
Aye.
Aye. We'll do it again. Which one we on now?
Who moved in second? Did somebody move?
Yep.
Who?
Yep.
The chair, the vice chair. The chair and vice chair.
Well, Leslie.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're all in favor of that. Waste check.
Work is in your package. Lots to go through as usual.
Yeah.
The big talk, of course, was the upcoming exclusion of pressure-treated products.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna play out over the next year or so, but everybody's talking about it.
It'd be interesting to see just how much, but, you know, if you have a deck that's 20, 25 years old, it's getting tore up. Like, I just tore mine up, but I'm using some of the material for another project, but some,
You know, we really haven't had that discussion that really all these restrictions, limitations, they're just contributing to people doing exactly like you, ripping up a deck in the backyard and taking it somewhere and dumping it in the woods.
there would be people that would do that.
Oh, there is that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Not me, I'm building a little shit in the woods. Good, so I'm not letting it go to waste, but the deck had to move, so.
And when I lived in the city, they had, at Goodwood, it was a great system that they had these concrete bins. Concrete pad with big, the Jersey barrier surrounding it. And when you went with a trailer load or a truckload or anything that you went with, it was clearly labeled. And you just parked your trailer and your metal stuff chucked in that bin, and the wood went in that bin, and, you know, and then they'd come along with a big payloader, scoop it all up and take it to wherever it went. You didn't have to actually go to, like what we have now, and try and throw it in the right bin, and,
Yeah,
you know, the stuff still gets missorted, you know, up there just because of the system that they have, but that's kind of the way they're doing it.
you know, that is something, I go down there quite often, he should, I'll mention it to him. The bin should be marked, cause I stand there,
Yes.
and I have to look in and see what's in there, and a
Well,
lot
I
of
keep having
times,
to read
everything.
the wall, because the wall, number 2 is this, number 4, which one's number 4?
Yeah, just put it right on the,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Okay, any questions for Paul? Or Tom, they're both. None? Okay. We have a motion to approve that report.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any further discussion? None, all those in favor say aye. Any nays? None. Now we're in the Villa House. This is something we get once in a while over the years. Horton, in a different health zone. You get Yarmouth, actually, I think there's a letter down there from Yarmouth looking for money for their house down there. What's your thoughts? Read it, think about it. And, we have money in the budget next year, something become,
I mean, I've used it, they're a fabulous
Yeah.
resource that, you know, that folks from this town go there all the time because you have to pay for the Yarmouth for treatment.
Yeah.
And if you can stay there for $25 a night.
that's what it was, they offered it to me the first time I had a knee done, I could have stayed the night before, because I had to be there at 6 in the morning or something like that.
But it's also for, you know, if your driver's taking you for 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
they can stay there.
Stay there.
We donated, I don't know if that's what we were talking about that, but quite a few years ago when they were doing some stuff, we donated quite substantially.
Expansion in there.
Yeah, we did quite a donation back
That, I can't remember the
Yeah.
amount.
then. So for so
But
many years.
There was, at that time, we had presentations by, there was
Yeah, they came down.
representatives from that and showed up.
Even quite a significant amount.
Do you want us, you know, we're 3-4 months from budget, you wanna send it to that, keep it in the budget item, or do you wanna do anything tonight, or not do anything tonight?
It's in the budget.
Yeah. Just make note of it, that we'll discuss it at that time. It's interesting to look at the numbers there, Halifax, Yarmouth, and Mount Michigan.
I stayed in.
You have it? Yeah, I've never had.
Yeah.
So I had family right there. Okay. So,
Staff are super friendly.
yeah. New business, town staff, food bank policy. Oh.
Okay. The current policy that was passed back in 2013, basically, the policy statement says to provide a $25 gift card from a local grocery store to each member of the town staff at Christmas and to give the cash donation equivalent to the total cost of the gift cards and the food bank. So, I guess I'm bringing this up because when that was done, this was done in lieu of buying turkeys, right? And that was what the town always done, was provided a turkey, right? And, so at that time in 2013, $25, you could probably buy a turkey for $25. You can't buy a chicken for $25 today.
You can't find a big chicken.
No, and, so, I think the intent of the policy was to do just that, and my wife told me that the cheapest turkey that you could find was between $35 and $40. So, that's the cheapest, and that depends on your size, because they're sold by weight, right? So,
They're even more than that now. I've seen them there for $75, $80, and you're lucky to get a decent sized turkey for 60, 70, $75. I mean,
Especially if nothing's on sale.
and that's what I was saying.
So does that go back to the days when local grocery stores used to put banana boxes together?
That's the, Christmas daddies. You're thinking.
Sorry?
That's Christmas daddies you're thinking.
Is that who used to do it? And it was kids, because we used to run around the right way and stuff boxes.
Yeah.
Which is this weekend, by the way, Christmas Daddies.
Taking place in,
So, I mean, I guess what, the thing is, I could deal with it if that number wasn't in the policy.
Yeah,
But because the number is stated in the policy, I want to get council's input, or to, I understand that, some of the other organizations that we fund have significantly increased gift cards for their staff.
I was just gonna say, DARK has done that for their staff and volunteers.
what was it about?
I don't know.
No. One of them, not Derek, but I had conversations with the event going on this weekend. I think they were gonna get cards at $75, something like that.
I heard around $250.
Yeah, it depends on the family and stuff, because I just had that conversation yesterday with people that were here Friday.
I think they went from $50 to
$100.
I think yes, I think they went from 50 to 200, and the staff was a little more. So, because it's the same thing, you can't buy much of anything today.
No, so let's either we leave it as it is, we increase it, or take the dollar amount right out of it, let Leslie go and buy 15 turkeys, or not do it, so that's your choice.
I'd suggest maybe we go with the $75 amount, because I have seen turkeys for $75.
Yeah.
It would also hopefully cover us in terms of being somewhere close to what's appropriate
Reason.
going forward.
Yeah, I compiled the list the other day, it was 22 or 23, around 23.
Yeah,
You're lucky to find 20.
Yeah.
20
well, that's gonna be the other challenge, is the real shortage of,
Well, the other reason
they can
why,
use it.
the other reason why we went from buying turkeys, there were several reasons why we went from buying turkeys. One, it was an administrative nightmare, because some people wouldn't come and pick up the turkey after we get it delivered to the town hall. You gotta come pick up the turkey. Or, oh, I can't come get it today, it's gonna be 2 weeks before I can come and get it.
Yeah.
Right, so we had to find somebody to take somebody else's turkey home, put it in the freezer, and until they pick it up.
So cards away.
Yeah, so that's why, and then we also had people that said, you know, I don't like turkey and I don't want a turkey because I won't use it, right? So the gift card, they can buy what they wish, right? But it's in lieu of the turkey, of the policy that's been long-standing.
I would,
I was just gonna say, Councilman McCormick is willing to make that a motion and we can discuss it. We threw a number of 75.
We can suggest a different one first.
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna suggest $100 to keep up with it. I mean, turkey and meal, right? By the time you buy the fixings with it and everything, I mean, that's 9, 10 years ago, this is going on, and, you know,
Less likely to have to adjust it again in a year or two.
yeah.
So let me be clear, you're going to $100 for staff,
Yeah, staff,
and
and
you
then
and you
100.
double that, so it's $100, let's say $2,300.
Yeah.
And you're gonna double that because you're gonna have the food bank that don't extra. Right, so we're gonna go from $1,150 that we have been doing, all the way up to 4,000 change.
Yeah, had you thought of that?
Yeah, that's a pretty big chunk.
You matched it, so had you thought of that?
Well,
But with the food bank, we can do,
I was
we can
gonna
do,
say,
Food bank, you do something different, I mean.
but you have to change that policy.
But
Yeah,
it's-
well, the thing is, right now, we don't have the change the policy, right? But I think my recommendation, of what I'm trying to find out is what I do for right now.
Yeah.
Now, last year, because we didn't have Christmas recognition dinner.
2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years.
Yeah.
For the last, yeah, we had it last year,
Yes.
yeah, 2 years ago. What we did, because we didn't have that, we give 2 $25 gift cards
Yes.
that year, because we didn't have the dinner, right? And, it's kept us within our budget, so, anyway, I think what we need to, the thing is, $25 in this economic climate isn't gonna cut it, it's more almost an insult to be
Yeah.
truthful.
I guess the biggest thing too with the food bank is, I don't know why we can't go to grants organizations for that. To be quite honest with you.
If we haven't.
Yeah.
And
We can do it separately. We can-
Yes,
Yeah.
the reason,
That'd be
and,
food bank.
this was 2013, but which was, this policy goes back,
Ages.
I mean, it was a unwritten policy before, when I came here, and then we actually put it in, and, because there was some discussion from council, and the decision of the council of the day was that we don't give anything, at that particular time, we didn't give anything to the food bank. So they said, this is what we want, if we're gonna give staff turkeys, we should be given to the food bank as well. So that's the policy that's here today, other than the fact that it's changed from a turkey to gift cards. So the thing is that if that policy hadn't gone, if we were still giving turkeys, we'd be spending probably $40 or $50 on turkeys, right?
Someone puts a motion forward, and we're getting the establishment of a new policy here. So
Yeah.
if we put a
And
separate
again,
motion.
I mean, basically, this is an exemption to the policy, is what I'm asking for this 1 year, and then we'll review it,
Review the policy.
review the policy, and come up, and do it the proper way in the new year.
Yeah, you could
just make suggestions.
ask for, an exempt. We could do the staff, and then we could have a motion on the previous, or determine amount to the food bank. We don't necessarily have to match it.
Yeah, that, you can
Yeah.
do that too, I
Yeah.
mean, you can
Yeah.
stick with the $25 for times 23
Right.
to the food bank.
So has the $25 per staff member been the same since even before 2013?
Yeah. Well, it was a turkey.
Wow,
It was a turkey
at that time, before
You can
that.
buy turkey for, So, we can, we were just discussing, maybe Paul didn't hear, but we can do a motion just to address the staff issue, and then we can do a separate motion to deal with the food bank.
No, I didn't make a motion that we do the $75 for the staff.
Would there be a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
So, any discussion on that motion? Satisfied that? This is,
We're gonna talk about this later as policy.
so then we're gonna talk about the food banks, and
This is an
this,
exemption for this year,
For this year.
yeah,
Now, note that it's for, 2022
this is a little bit
year
of
on.
So, everybody okay with that? Well, I'm gonna ask,
Easy to favor $40 and 75.
any other discussion? I was trying to bring some turkey. Keep bringing my name up.
Well, if you buy it at Thanksgiving time, the cheaper over there is at Walmart for like $25, $26, fair size one.
You do.
Yeah, two, no, it's, you can get them, but this time of year you can't get them, it's, you gotta really buy them at cheaper time of year, check in the freezer, right? So, but,
We're doing gift cards now, not to,
Turkey.
yeah,
You're doing gift cards.
well, no, I'm saying, we're not buying back in Thanksgiving, so we're stuck at the marketplace.
Okay.
I
So-
can tell you, going to the private sector, we don't get anywhere near.
No, no, well, then you need to talk to your boss. All war.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'll do that. But in
Well,
private
We just
sector,
had a party at the Pines, so.
oh, you just, yeah.
yeah.
But in the private sector, quite often you get discounts on things too. Yes, yeah, yeah. So, you know, there are pluses and I know what you're saying, yeah, yeah. So any other comments? We had a suggestion
I
maybe.
guess, I guess
Yeah.
my point of view is the food bank priority will be higher for me this year, because there's gonna be a lot of people suffering.
Yeah, we
Not
can,
that the staff don't deserve it. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, but we can address that in a separate motion.
Yeah.
So we had that, we've heard 75, suggested maybe 40, but we have a motion on the floor to give them $75 gift card. All those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Aye. Any nays?
Yeah.
Okay, motion carried. Now let's address the food bank.
So normally it's about $500 roughly.
No, this is, yeah, that's, we were given $500 in the grants organization, but this is a policy.
Well, it was 25.
Yeah, but it was down with the 25.
Yeah.
Per
$500.
tons, what, 23?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be around $575,
Right.
575, give or take, one or two.
For this year, I moved that we give them 600.
Well, that's a motion. Get it seconded, if we get it seconded, we can discuss it. If we don't get it seconded, we can discuss it. Second, so let's have some discussion on this. So there's a motion on the floor to give the food bank $600. Everybody saw. I was actually thinking a little more, but.
Yeah.
For that one, I'd kind of be inclined to go a little bit higher as well.
And it's not, and it,
So you
this,
got-
yeah,
So, just,
yeah.
point of order.
Yeah.
We have a motion on the floor, so we have two options, right? If you disagree with the amount,
Yep.
you can move for an amendment to the motion.
Okay.
And then when that passes, then you have to have, vote on the amended motion if it passes. If it doesn't, you're back.
Yeah,
And the other thing is that you can vote on it as it is and defeat the motion and make a new motion.
right.
So those are the two options that you have, because once a motion is on the floor, it has to be, technically, it has to be amended.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to change.
Oh, yeah, there wasn't gonna be a change in that motion. It was gonna get defeated, or it was gonna get.
Well, you wanted the second just to get it on the board.
For discussion.
Board, yeah.
For discussion.
You better there. Talk. I agree, it's not enough.
No, I was saying,
Well, you just agreed to spend $1,725 on staff.
Yeah, I agree that. Food bank is not, this year is gonna be, they're gonna be in our shape by it.
There you are.
So I can rescind that motion too.
well, we'll have the discussion right here to get to the point.
I guess it's the second.
Yeah, it's been seconded, so it's either amended or gets vetoed.
So let's do that, I guess.
You can do an amendment, but yeah, I was thinking $1,000, but. But, yeah, that's my thought, what's everybody else think?
I'd like to make that a friendly amount, $2,000. If you're so inclined.
Like,
No,
Anybody
no,
can make the motion.
he can agree to it.
Yeah,
we can all agree.
anybody, and then it has to be seconded.
Yep.
Then you vote on the amendment
Yep.
before you vote on the amended motion.
Yeah, exactly, so, yeah, so we need, so, yeah, we have this one here, we have this friendly amendment, friendly amendment. So if anybody would support that, then,
So we get a seconder?
yeah, and do we have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, so now,
Now we vote on the amendment.
and now we need we have a motion and a seconder, all those in favor of that? The motion is.
Amendment?
No, I'm gonna end it. That's what this gavel's here for.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have a motion to amend the original motion to $1,000 in food bank. It's been seconded. All those in favor of that, say aye. Any nays? Okay. Now we have the original motion. Well, no,
We have it now.
Now we have, yeah,
Right.
stop throwing these out here.
Reminds me of a UNSM meeting.
Yeah, that's just,
Nothing down for amendments and everything else to get something to pass.
yeah, and then you get so confused, you don't know where you're at.
So now we're open for discussion again, right?
Yeah.
First and second, so we just made a comment, the staff was 1,000 something,
1,725.
1,000,
725.
right, so I'm looking at matching. We should match it. If we think the food bank's gonna be that bad.
Well, I don't know, you
Well,
hear,
you just assume that,
yeah,
yes.
you just hear in the media, et
And I
cetera, et
don't know what's
cetera.
going on with Christmas daddies and ambulance, it'll still come through.
Well, I did just see Roger this week going into Sobeys, making his order, and he said it's very difficult because the prices are so high
But yeah,
to try and stretch a dollar.
Christmas daddies is healthy.
oh yeah, they're healthy, they should.
Oh.
Well, they're a year ahead, right?
I do know that
We're always a year ahead. anyway.
We'll have a discussion on that afterwards, yeah, they're very healthy.
the church in, Barton, yeah, this is Barton, Marlene's,
Yes, yeah,
They are-
right, left hand.
they are right now is trying to establish their own food bank for that area because there's a gap between Digby and Weymouth.
Uh,
There's a gap there.
Yeah.
Even that, you round up to
Last
Sandy Cove, they're doing a food bank,
Yeah, the island has one.
in their avenue.
Okay, let's get back to, that's a whole different discussion.
Okay.
So,
So,
Yeah.
what has been another suggestion, which lines up with the way the policy reads.
yeah, well, that's where we're headed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the best way to settle this right now would be to defeat the amended motion.
Yep.
And
go
then
back.
not begin more motions,
Right.
and I'll follow the policy as it's written, other than changing it from 25 to 75.
And that's where we are.
That's where we are.
Right.
Yes,
We come in full circle.
we did.
So we're voting against this.
Well, that's up to you. I'm calling for the question.
Question?
Dustin, all those in favor of the motion say aye. None. All those in favor of saying nay, the motion is defeated, so.
No one said nay?
No one voted in favor. Kim Dye right here. No, it's,
Yeah.
okay, so follow the policy.
Yeah.
He's Well, it's a good exercise.
Just
We haven't-
everybody's familiar, it's $75 instead of 25.
Yeah, yeah.
And the equivalent will go to the food bank.
So do you need any kind of a motion to amend the policy?
No, because basically in that motion, when I say it's for the 2022 year only, and then we're gonna do the regular
Yeah.
process, so it is a, in one way it amends it, but it's not done properly.
We're forcing you to do it now.
Yeah.
I guess we're being.
Should we put a Dan rider on that? Because he can eat a whole turkey himself.
You need 75?
As long as there's no cost of living.
Okay, we're gonna move in camera for a short in-camera session, and motion to move in camera.
So moved.
So second.
Second, all those in favor of going in camera?
Aye.
Yeah. That's the last thing on the agenda. Got a meeting at 7 o'clock.
If anyone wants to go take my place, we're gonna cold, I'm not gonna go to it, so you could get registered, if you wanna go. Just tell me. No, I'm registered yet.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So motion.
Second.